Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the November edition of Coffee with Cathy. It's my pleasure to visit with all of you about what's happening in the great community of Kaiser and to bring you news from all of our partners in the community. Here with me today is Diane Watson from the Chemeketa Community College Board of Education, Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District Board of Directors and the Kaiser Community Library, and Pastor Jose Dominguez from La Luz de Valle Church. Later to join us will be Jeremy Turner from the Kaiser Chamber of Commerce. We've got so much happening in Kaiser today and into the holiday season, so we're just going to jump right in and get started. And I'm going to share my screen so Diane can share some of this great stuff going on at Chemeketa. Diane, welcome to the program. And I've
Thank.
got your first slide up about the concerts.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathy. I just love to share things about Chemeketa because so much is going on, and I wanted to make sure everybody knew that there actually December is coming right up. It's not too far away. There are some really fabulous things that are happening at Chemeketa. One is they have our fall concerts, and this is showcasing on December 4th the orchestra, and on December 8th the fall band concert, and December 11th, the fall choir concert. And the great thing about this, they're free. And so there still is some things that are free that you can take your family to. It is a family type concert, and they are held at 7:30 p.m. in Building 6 Auditorium on the Salem campus, which is at 4000 Lancaster Drive. And I really encourage you to come. I've been to many of them, and they're really enjoyable. So I put that on your calendar. Chemeketa also has some other things coming on, and these are different types of concerts that we're hosting. And one, we have November 5th and 12th on there, and they're gone. But we have three other concerts that I think you'd be excited to see. One is Christmas Brass with the 83 Brass Trio. And I was looking at the prices, it's about $17 or something. And if you went through Eventbrite, they probably are going to charge you something for doing it. So about $20. Um, and it looks like a wonderful experience. And again, this is at Chemeketa. And then we have another thing on the 17th, a Hoto Christmas, East meets West. And if you want to find out more about this, you can go to Eventbrite, and they will give you more description of it. And then we've had this year after year on the 20th. This is a great thing for the family. The music of a Charlie Brown Christmas, Nathan Olson Trio, and they have been here many, many times. And celebrate Christmas with your family with seeing Charlie Brown Christmas. That's absolutely great, and that's part of our concert series that's coming up. And let's go to the next slide because this slide, I just want to tell you about some things that are just happening at Chemeketa. I usually don't talk about one little thing here and there, but there's lots of little tidbits all over campus, always happening, and it has students in mind and our community in mind when we're putting these things together. We write lots and lots of grants, and the grants are designed to help our students make life better, help them get into career technical programs, and reduce the cost of funding. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about them. The first one is a Roundhouse Foundation, and these are things that happened in October and November so far. Donated funds so students in fire protection and automotive tech could purchase the required protective gear and tools to train. That's really expensive. Those the tools that they have to buy, several $100s, and this is an organization that provides those. Future Ready funds support students in healthcare, manufacturing and technology, and pathways with tuition assistance, and how well as we wrap around support. So it covers things like the tuition, um, tools, and books for these programs. And a lot of them are reaching out to underserved populations. How-to funds from the state support students' interest in careers and bilingual healthcare interpreters. And that is so important because if you speak Spanish and you're in an ambulance or you come into a doctor's office, you need somebody there to be able to interpret this, and there just aren't enough. So we're trying to qualify more people to take place in our community. The health resource and services, it helps students seeking jobs as qualified mental health associates. So these are just some of the little small grants that we got in, and some of them aren't too small, that help our students. And then we have a Future Ready grant, which is getting students into careers and into programs that are involved in um, health occupations and manufacturing in those areas. And we have 520 participants have enrolled in this. And our goal was 487 for the grant. We still have 7 months to go. So it's a very popular program, and yes, we are going to meet our goal. Um, and then the other thing we have is a new Spanish GED, youth GED, starting in November this month, is for the Salem area. We already have this in Woodburn, but we're broadening this out. We found out there was a need, so we're going to offer a class in Spanish to youth in this area of Salem, which is really exciting. Like I say, we have it already in Woodburn. It's going well, but now we're hitting the Salem market. The next item on there, I put that down, a 10-star simulator. This is a full-scale virtual training tool for our high school partnership with the Egg Hub collaboration. And I've never seen one of these, but we got a grant for it, and this is going to help our students work towards getting an entry into a career. So, and it is another partnership. We have lots and lots of partnerships. Um, SBDC, let's a small business. We have a nice cohort of this, 20 small businesses that are enrolled in our small business management cohort. These are 20 new businesses where they're going to be working with Chemeketa and with this small business management cohort to get off the ground. And these have been very successful. So let's go on to the next page. Just one of our success, the veterans service team achieved a 72% persistent rate for student veterans from 24 to 25, with 56 student veterans graduating, and they got 63 degrees and certificates. So some people got probably a certificate and a degree, or a couple of them, but that's pretty impressive. And then our Chemeketa scholars, this is for, um, uh, let's see, I'm looking where we are on here. Oh, the Chemeketa scholars is for students that graduate from our local high schools. They have a 3.5 GPA. They're able to pass our placement tests with adequate scores, and they go to Chemeketa. Well, this is the largest class we've had. We have 421 who decided that Chemeketa was the place they were going to get their degree. And we're just really pleased with this. And the other thing we've done is we've had TRIO programs. We've had TRIO programs for students' success program, and we've had TRIO programs for students with disabilities, and we've had, Upward Bound and Talent Search and all of those things. But we got a new student support services trio, and it's designed to serve Woodburn and Yamhill County. And we'll have 140 students in it, 70 from each area. And this is really exciting because although we have it on campus, these students, a lot of them can't get to our main campus here in Salem. So we're serving it through Woodburn and Yamhill. And that should make more students successful and provide those support services that they need. And our fall enrollment is up. Oh, I've got to talk about the planetarium. This is takes place generally on fall Fridays at 7:30, but our next show will be on December 6th at 7:30, and then we'll probably start winter quarter. We have a planetarium. It's like an IMAX theater, and we have a new show on it. It's a scene of photons journey across space, time, and mind, following the journey of a single photon as it is produced in a distant star before traveling across the vast expanse of space to land on somebody's retina. This Full Dome Planetarium explores some of the fascinating processes of the cosmos, from astrophysics to the biology of the eye and brain, funded through a generous grant from Zeiss. The show is narrated by an astronomer and science communicator, Niels deGrasse Tyson, and all shows include a brief introduction that explores the nighttime sky over Salem during the season of the year. That sounds really exciting. It's a great place to take your family. It'll cost you $5. You pay for it there. They take 60 at a time, so you want to get there a little early to get in line and make sure you get in. But what a great opportunity for your family to learn more about that. And I need to attend that too because I don't have a foggiest idea what we're talking about, but I will after I see it. And then the other thing is looking at enrollment. We're doing well right now. We're up 3.5% over last year. So we're continuing to go up, and we're up this summer. And then the last thing I've got there is winter enrollment. And if you're thinking of going to Chemeketa in the winter, or you want to talk to somebody about careers paths, now is the time to do it. Get your application in, get your FAFSA in, and talk to an advisor. Because you can get into programs. Some programs start only in the fall, but usually they have classes that you can start taking right now. So um, get ready. Don't wait till the last minute. And I want to say happy Thanksgiving because we're coming up with that first, but it seems like Christmas is right, right the next week. So anyway, that's my report from Chemeketa.
Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you to all the work that's being done to make education and career opportunities so available in our community. My son is currently a student in a career change program, and it's been fantastic for him as an adult learner to be able to be very successful in that space. And just the way that you and the entire board and staff keep on intentionally finding ways to be adaptive and responsive to the needs of the students and our businesses in our region. So thank you so much. It's always exciting to hear from Chemeketa and what's happening. So fantastic. And also, I love the Ag Hub there. And I know the Wednesday markets are closed for right now, but in the spring, they'll be back.
Say, yes, they will, with wonderful things.
Absolutely. Well, next I've got in my little list, I've got some city stuff. So let me give you a quick rundown of some of the things happening in the city in no particular order, but wherever the slides landed, here we go. So let's start with art. We are in the process of recruiting artists submissions for our utility box wraps. These are going on the utility boxes that have the traffic signal controls inside. So you see the cow there. There's one with irises. There's one with salmon. So if you have a concept that you would like to develop into being a utility box wrap, please submit that to that artwork online to the City of Kaiser so it can be considered by our Kaiser Public Arts Commission. We want to do more and a variety of art along a river road, and every place we have one of those city-owned utility boxes makes it more beautiful, and they tend to not be graffitied. Speaking of art, we do have this year's a holiday card out. But if you would like your art to be on the holiday card in 2026, now is the time to get your holiday inspiration on and turn in your entry into our holiday card contest. The deadline is March 2nd, but 'tis the season, you're in the groove. Get that art turned in sooner than later. And again, it's through our city website, kaiseror.gov. There's one of our wonderful storm drains and the fall leaves that are everywhere. We ask all of you in your neighborhood, keep an eye on your storm drains. And if you see leaves or other debris covering it, please pull those back. Yes, we have street sweeping. Yes, we are very diligent about that with the contractor we have. And yes, this is the time of year they can't keep up. So if we all pitch in, we'll be able to keep the storm drains running smoothly, and your local streets won't be flooding out. And on top of that, you can even adopt your storm drain. So again, go to our Kaiser website and go to How Do I? And you'll see on that list, adopt a storm drain. I adopted mine in my neighborhood, and I can post pictures on there when I clear the storm drain and get all of those leaves off. So good for the environment, good for the neighborhood, and good for Kaiser. Adopt a storm drain. This is a picture with Colonel Kevin Dial, who was a very familiar face in this community. A lot of people do not know that he did retire from the Army after a very distinguished career, and he was our guest to receive the uh, Military Veterans and Families Service Month for the month of November. We want to remember that serving in our armed forces, as well as so many other services of public safety, it's a family thing. So this was a chance for us to join with our nation for the National Veterans and Military Families Month. And there's so many ways that we can continue to support and uphold our military and veteran families. Watch soon the Gold Star Family Memorial out at Kaiser Station. We're waiting for the monument to arrive. We have been signing the contracts for installations, and that thing is going to be constructed very soon. And I'm looking forward to announcing the ribbon cutting on that wonderful monument for our Gold Star families. Thank you to all of you who contributed so generously to help make this happen. This is with the chairwoman of the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians, Dee Pigsley, who is a resident of Kaiser. She has been a tremendous leader for the Siletz tribal nation for many years, and she honored us by receiving the Native American Heritage Month proclamation. At the City Hall, we have banners that are made from the murals that are at the Chemawa Indian School. I encourage you to come and see that art. And also, there's a Native American Heritage Month displays over at the Kaiser Heritage Center, the Cultural Center next door to City Hall. And there's so many opportunities to learn about our tribal nations and the ancient lands on which we are privileged to live. Speaking of native, we also celebrated our native plants. And down at Kaiser Rapids Park had our annual native plant celebration and plantings. Volunteers went out to the park and helped expand the native plant areas that work as not only filtering the stormwater in the park, but they're also repopulating that area with plants that were have been here for millennia. If you also go over and visit Claggett Creek Park, you've seen a lot of dirt moving over there, and now some plantings are going in. Similar to what we're doing here at Kaiser Rapids Park, we're also doing at Claggett Creek Park on the east side of the creek. That land belongs to the city of Kaiser. It was given to the city by the Herbert Moore family in order for that part of the lowlands, the wetlands to be restored. And that project is underway. Also, we will be building a boardwalk that will connect Dearborn to Chemawa. So you'll be able to walk along there and enjoy that beautiful nature walk and see as the native plants begin to take root. Um, you may have noticed if you have been to our website, kaiseror.gov, it does not just have a new name, it also has a new look. A team of 5 of our staff members worked together to redesign and then relaunch our city website. They not only saved us money, but because these were done by staff members, they know what people are looking for and how to get good information quickly into the hands of those of us in Kaiser. If you want to stay in the know, go to that link there that says kaiseror.gov/list ASPX. You can subscribe to receive email notifications when agendas post. If you want to know about city council, budget, planning, parks, art, and so forth, that's the place to go. You subscribe, you control how you receive those notifications, and then you can be up to date on what's happening in our own city. So go online and subscribe. So many of you may have heard that we are hiring a new public works director. Bill Lawyer has been our public works director for many years, and he has worked for the city of Kaiser for over 30 years. He has made the choice to retire, and I got to tell you, there's no replacing him. We will choose a wonderful successor to keep his good work going, but his leadership, his vision, his hard work, and can do attitude, working with his entire team to help make sure Kaiser Public Works are well run, well maintained, and responsibly taken care of is a legacy that we are going to enjoy for many, many years to come. A huge thank you to Bill Lawyer for his service to the people of Kaiser. And we'll be having a celebration of him, although he's probably less than excited about that. But you know what? When we do good work, we just want to say thank you to someone like him who has done so much for our city, oftentimes behind the scenes, but he and his crew do a fantastic job taking care of public works in Kaiser. So if you know people who are interested in becoming the next public works director, we did have an information session that is posted online. If you want to see more, go to this website and please share with people who you believe would be a good fit in our culture of pride, spirit, and volunteerism. Whoops, I'm going to go backward here. Come on, back. Back. There it is. Volunteer of the quarter. So we try to do this each quarter of the year, but we need to get nominations from you. Who do you think has been doing behind the scenes volunteer work for the community of Kaiser in 2025? We would love to get your nominations. And if you would send them to get the form here on our website, volunteer recognition, and then that will be reviewed by our volunteer coordinating committee. And then we would like to honor these amazing volunteers. Those they're all neighbors, just neighbors helping neighbors, as Jackie Moria would always say. And they would give us an opportunity to honor them and thank people for what they do day in and day out for our community. So nominations for volunteer of the quarter. So that's what I have from the city. And at this point, um, I've got some community pictures. I want to start off with something that Pastor Dominguez shared today with Operation Christmas Child. I'm so glad to have you on today, Pastor, and love for you to share about this and other great things happening in Kaiser. You got to find the unmute button. There you go.
Pictures. Just wanted to shout out for the group that is working in a prevention work group. We're having some prevention work sessions with Kyle Dickinson, Salem Leadership Foundation, and Levi Herrera from Mano a Mano. Been very, very interesting. We've come together with local leaders brainstorming on plans and action steps to help our youth in our community. What it is a collaborative initiative where we're coming together and preparing a plan that we would like to present to the city of Salem, and see if we can get funding for some of the things that we see as community leaders that are needed in our community. And we're hoping that if you're listening to this and you're a community leader and you desire to see our communities be the best that they can be, we need you out there, and we can get the information to you so you can join us in preparing for the future of our community and our city. The other thing I wanted to share, exciting news out of Northeast Salem, Mano a Mano. The director is Levi Herrera. He just announced this week that they are in the process of purchasing the Holy Cross, a Lutheran church right there in Market and Lansing. The purpose is to have a community center to reach out to the community. There is a website. There's a website that Levi sent out. Let me see if I can. to access that. But I think I sent it to you, Mayor. It's on Facebook, where he talks about the need that there is in our community. And of course, there are needs everywhere, but this is for the future of our uh, coming generations, our youth, and they need to raise initially a 1.5 million by the summer of 2026, and there's already been an in-kind donation, which is very sizable. We're thankful for that, and so the purpose of it is it's a 20,000 square foot facility there in the Northeast Salem, by Waldo School, McKay High School there, and it would be a safe place for people to connect, to build skills. It reaches out to the community. There'll be a kitchen, a gym. Obviously, there'll be a sanctuary area for classrooms, outdoor gardens. Just a lot of planning that is going into that. And just wanted to make that announcement again, the Northeast Salem Community Hub. And we're excited to see that. Uh, Mano a Mano is part of Alianza Poder, which is an organization of uh, Hispanic community leaders that are coming together, and we are providing resources to the community. And here is thank you, Mayor, for putting that on. But it's an exciting project, and we're looking forward to seeing the fruition of that community center come together. And
Uh-oh,
uh,
we lost your sound, Pastor.
Bruce, did you lose me?
Now you're back. We're having a
Yeah,
hard
but
time with your audio is going in and out.
hold on.
Now we can hear you.
How about now?
Perfect.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you for your patience. Technology, sometimes we think it helps us, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it fails, like live, like here. but yes, and back to the little picture that we started with. We were involved. Our fellowship was involved in a project with the Samaritan's Purse in preparing boxes, shoe boxes for children. And children are dear to my heart as well as the youth. And we're just so happy. There's a few of some of our friends out at the evangelical church there on Locust Street. We gathered together. We brought some boxes, and we're hoping that children all over the world will get an opportunity to celebrate Christmas. And talking about Christmas, it's coming up really soon. We're still not through Thanksgiving yet, but we're thankful for these holiday seasons that are coming up. But it was an exciting time, emotional time, where we were able to get in contact with some volunteer workers, and just the excitement of working together as community. You know, when the community comes together and works together on a project, it just brings just this spirit of volunteerism, the spirit of unity, and it's just such a good time. But that's all I've got today to share. I just want to wish everybody a very nice Thanksgiving. And remember during this time, count your blessings, count the things that you have. There's a scripture passage that says that we are to thank the Lord in all things, because it is the will of God in Christ Jesus. So we just are excited about this time. We're going to have a good time with our family. I hope you do too. And God bless.
Thank you, Pastor, and blessings to you and to everyone in our community. I'm going to share a few community announcements, many more blessings, and some of them happening today. So buckle up, folks. Here we go. You've been seeing advertising all over town about the Glow coming to Volcano Stadium. At Roto-Rooter Park, the Mavericks League has been working really hard to bring us this beautiful Christmas lighting festival that's going to be great for the whole family. Tickets are on sale now. This is a first time out at the Volcano Stadium, but since they have the turf fields, they can now do wonderful community events like this. Opening night is the 28th. Grandparents, here's a hint for a holiday gift that is non-clutter and nobody's going to want to return it. So a great way to celebrate the holidays and create memories for the whole family. Speaking of music, we talked a little bit about this earlier, and I will get the listing for the Capitol, but also holidays at the mall. We're going to have local schools will be performing at the Salem Center Mall. And want to point out on December 15th, we'll have Cummings Elementary Choir. On December 18th, I'm sorry, 16th, McNary High School Choir. And on, I think those are the two. And then on December 2nd, the Witter School Middle Choir. December 14th, Gubser Elementary. So come on out and see them, see the wonderful student musicians we have celebrating the holidays at Salem Center. Also opening will be the Kaiser Miracle of Lights through the Gubser neighborhood. It opens on December 5th and runs to the 26th. Drive through, walk through, bike through, whatever, however you want to travel through this neighborhood, they are going to light it up and crank it up and have a beautiful display of lights through the whole neighborhood. And remember to bring your donations for the Marion Polk Food Share. This is the largest event, one event fundraiser for the Marion Polk Food Share each year, and every year you absolutely deliver with funds and food that help feed our families both in the holidays and in the year to come. As we know, the need right now is even greater, and with your help, we can locally fund everything needed at the Marion Polk Food Share. We have sustainers that keep them going year round, and together we can make that happen and take care of our neighbors every day of the year. Today at McNary High School from 9 to 4 is the McNary Athletic Booster Club Holiday Bazaar. They have over 100 vendors in the facilities at the high school. Come do your Christmas shopping and support local businesses and our McNary student athletes all at the same time. Is that a value of time and money or what? So come on down to the high school today. Get that shopping underway. And if you want to help our students who are trying to help the community, let's go stuff the bus over at Safeway. You'll see a big school bus today, and bring your donations and help our Whitaker Middle School students stuff the bus with food for our community. Out and about today, Kaiser, man, do you ever show up. And I'm going to see if I make that bigger. There it is. Kaiser Fire and Kaiser Police are going to be sharing a cup of cheer with a coffee bar on Monday, December 1st. So the first Monday after Thanksgiving, our police and fire will be getting together to have a quick cup of coffee, kick off the season with conversation. And again, we like a efficiency, so you can meet with fire and police at the same time at Kaiser Fire District in the community room. So come on down December 1st, starting at 9 a.m. Betty, you shared this. I would love to, actually, I'll go back and have you talk about what's going on with the cup of cheer and other news from Kaiser Fire.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having the police department and the fire department meet together. People can come in and chat with them and get more information about various things. It's the Kaiser Police Department does coffee with a cop periodically throughout the year, and so they teamed up now with the fire district to let you can come in and have coffee with firefighters and the police officers that are there. So that'll be a great time for people. There is a lot of stuff going on, much of which you've already heard about, but the fire district is involved. And one of those, of course, is the tree lighting on December 2nd, the fire district is bringing Santa to the tree. So you want to be sure to be there to see Santa, and a couple of kids will get the opportunity to turn the switch on to light that up. Oh, am I jumping ahead of your? Yes.
Let me see if I can
Okay.
get that slide up for folks to see. It's on
Yeah.
a separate screen, but you know what? I have the power to
Uh-huh.
switch screens. There it is.
Good job. Great.
There.
There you go. Look, and this is such a fun event and has been going on for a long time. And we are really lucky to have this central Christmas tree right there on River Road that we get to enjoy during the entire Christmas season. And you can be there to help with the lighting on Tuesday, December 2nd from 6 to 7 p.m. Okay, so do you have some other slides? I know I sent you a few and you probably have some as well.
I do.
Our
Let me get your slides back up here, back in my other pile. There you go. You sent me this one. That was so cute.
Oh, yes. I just happened to see this online. It's a t-shirt. I have no idea where you can get it, but I thought, about half of the male 4 or 5 year olds want to be firefighters. I swear the other half want to be cops, which is both of which are just fine. But if you have a future firefighter, you might want to look out for this shirt. You could probably find it online. I happened to find this, I think, in the Kaiser Fire District Facebook feed, and I thought, oh my gosh, what a delightful gift for a young person who is interested in becoming a firefighter.
Maybe they'll
Okay.
find one at the McNary Bazaar today.
Yeah, there you go. And if you don't, you'll find lots of other stuff. I'm sure of that. They have so many
100%.
wonderful things. Yes. Okay. So, of course, the fire department offices will be closed. However, we will have firefighters and paramedics on duty to respond to any emergencies that arise that day. And hopefully, everybody will be safe and sound at home and they can relax at the fire station. But if you do have an emergency, they will be there as quickly as possible. And just in case you don't know, we have this new agreement with both Salem Fire and Marion County Fire. Okay, I have a couple more things from the fire district before we go on to the library. So I just want to talk about these a little bit. One is fire safety. And of course, the holiday season is a big time to be especially concerned about it. The number one cause of home fires is leaving something cooking on the stove. So you want to be careful that you don't leave anything unattended while it's cooking so that fire can easily get started and then disaster occurs. The other one is if you are planning to have a fresh cut tree, be sure before you put it up that you cut the bottom off so it will take in water. In fact, when I used to have a fresh tree occasionally, I would cut the bottom off and set it in a bucket of water for a few hours or maybe overnight or something so that it really has a chance to absorb a lot of water. And you want to be sure once you put it up that you keep the tree stand full of water because once it gets dry, the tree won't suck water up anymore, and then it'll dry out and become a fire hazard. So that's particularly important. Um, well, probably the most important news, as far as I'm concerned, from the Kaiser Fire District during the holiday season is Bernie is coming back from the North Pole on December 1st. So we will see Bernie on Facebook. So follow Kaiser Fire on Facebook, and that will be so much fun. I just love to see Bernie in the various places that he goes during the holiday season. And we have our Santa breakfast on the 14th, the day after the parade, from 7:30 to 11:30. It's a lot of fun to come and bring your family. And I'll be there greeting people and taking your money for your pancakes. Um, and then, oh yes, there's Bernie. He's so cute. And then we have, of course, the candy cane drive-through, which will be on December 20th from 10 to 2. And because our firefighters have gotten so busy over the years, we had to go to this special way to hand out candy canes. So people can come to the fire uh, station on Shamawa Road on that day, and you get to drive through the bay there, and Santa will be there, and you can get out and have your picture taken with Santa if you wish, and get your candy cane. So that's a fun event as well. And let's see. Oh, I
Hey, I found
wanted to
your fire
mention.
safety one. I'm going to pop this up here so folks can see it.
Okay.
So there it is. Fire safety tips. Listen to Betty.
Oh, good.
There we go, right there.
Yes, this is such, I mean, fire can be such a traumatic thing for anyone when it occurs. And during the holidays in particular, the opportunities for fire are it's seemingly higher. I was thinking about it. I thought, oh, yeah, well, I don't cook all that much, but I probably cook more during the holidays than I do any other time of the year. So I need to be sure that I'm on top of whatever it is I'm doing at the time. A couple of other quick things. One is we do have a new website as well, kaiserfire.gov. So I hope you'll take a chance to take a look at that. And then in May, there'll be a car seat training for people who work with families and need to help them with their, be sure the car seats are installed safely. And Anne Marie Storms at the Kaiser Fire District can answer any questions and help people get registered if they're interested. So it's a ways away, but it is such an important thing. And we do a clinic occasionally, usually in conjunction with other agencies to help people get their car seats installed safely for their kids. So I think that's what I've got now from the fire district. So I'm happy to talk about the library, and the library also will be closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's days as well. So if we think that Christmas is, going to be here before we know it, that's true because there are only 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's exactly 4 weeks. Usually it's a little bit more than that, but so that's the shortest time there ever is between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we have it this year. Yes, volunteers are needed for various assignments in our library. We only have one part-time staff person who helps with organizing things at the library, and we rely on volunteers to do all the rest of the work. And so you can come into the library when it's open, go online, sign up, and pick a job. So some of it is at the circulation desk. You can help with shelving events or just substituting when that's needed. So if you're looking for a little volunteer gig, please consider volunteering at the library. So there's a lot of activities coming up in the next month, especially during Christmas break. This might be the only one I sent you from the library. Does that sound right, Cathy?
That
Okay.
sounds about right. Let's see if I can find it here.
Okay.
Okay. Oops. I'm doing that. Okay. Let me see if I can find the other announcement from the library.
Okay.
And nope, that is all I have is those two. I don't have the third one. Go ahead and tell about it, and I'll see if I can find it and
Okay.
post it.
Well, we have crafting at the library on Friday, December 6th from 1 to 3. This is a drop-in event. Children will get the chance to create holiday garlands. And we encourage you to stop by the circulation desk at the library and pick up a free ticket for this event because space is limited. And then Princess Story Time is coming up on Friday, December 27th. Princess Story Time is always a popular event. We have Frozen Princess Elsa and Anna. They'll read stories to the children. And again, there are free tickets for this event available at the front desk starting 2 weeks before the event. So they won't be available yet. But this will be a fun activity for kids during Christmas break. We'll also have some other events, book bingo on Monday, December 30th, and children will play bingo to win a book. So I think that's really exciting. And again, tickets for that event will be available 2 weeks ahead of time. And the capacity for that one is only 30 kids, but it should be a lot of fun. And again, crafting at the library is Friday, January 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. This is a drop-in event, and children will create popsicle snowflakes. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then Cuddle Up Reading Club will be on from Monday, December 20th to Friday, January 31st. So the goal of this winter reading program is to encourage our patrons of all ages to continue reading and visiting the library during the rainy season. You can complete some reading related activities on a bingo card to earn prizes. So that's a lot of fun, and it's a great activity for mom and her dad to do with their kids. They could all work together on reading together at the winter time and earn some prizes. So I
That
think
sounds
that's what
awesome.
I
We'll
have.
watch for those to
Yeah,
post on Facebook. They're not up there yet,
yeah.
but they will be, and on Instagram. And if you want to buy some wonderful holiday gifts, the Kaiser Community Library does have books for sale. It's not just during the book fair, but year
Yeah.
round.
Yes. Yes, it's a great thing to check out, and they're, very reasonably priced for the opportunity. We have a limited space at our library, and so we started this last year to give the community an opportunity to buy books throughout the year, and then of course we have our big book sale in the spring and the fall. So yes.
Fantastic. Let me
Thanks.
wrap up with a few things that are happening in the community through the Chamber of Commerce. And Jeremy is so good about making sure I've got good information to share with you all. So here we go. Our Chamber of Commerce is rocking and rolling both on the business side and on the community side. This is that busy time of year. If you are a business and you want to be in the next visitor guide and business directory, now is the time to get your submission in. This is this year's, but we're about to go ahead with 25-26. So get your stuff in today at the Kaiser Chamber office. Starting next year, where I know we're talking about the holidays, but hey, I don't know about your calendar, but mine's starting to fill in for January. Mark your calendar for Celebrate Kaiser, the awards banquet, where we will honor not only our first citizen or our future first citizen, but also merchant and volunteer efforts throughout our community. So come on down to be part of Celebrate Kaiser awards banquet at the Kaiser Event Center on January 17th, 2026. But before you do that, make sure that you are picking up a gift tag at one of our many locations in Kaiser. Those gift tags, each tag is for a child in our Kaiser schools. So thanks to our school counselors and the CSOCs, they have submitted the list of children's names and their desire for a clothing item and a gift item. So come and go to visit one of our local businesses, get a tag, and fill a child's heart with joy and hope for the holiday season. And get ready for Lights, Camera, Action, a Hollywood holiday at the Kaiser Holiday Lights Parade on December 13th. And also remember, if you want to drive down River Road that night, you better be driving a sleigh because you ain't going through there on a car. So get ready to bring your family down for the Kaiser Holiday Lights Parade on December 13th. If you want to have a float in the parade, please get your application in now. As Betty has mentioned, the Kaiser Chamber tree lighting will be on December 2nd at 6 p.m. Thank you to Kaiser Fire for helping Santa get to the tree lighting. And there'll be cookies and hot cocoa and a chance to say hi to Santa. Let's kick off the holiday season with Santa's arrival at the Christmas tree on River Road. Next week is our Turkey Dash. It is back, folks. So if you want to do some running before you gobble, go down and register to be part of the Kaiser Turkey Dash on Thanksgiving morning, 8 a.m. at Kaiser Station. This is always a lot of fun. Costumes are encouraged. Come and have fun with this. Bring the family, strollers, dogs on leashes, whatever you want to do, and just make it a fun family tradition to come down for the Kaiser Turkey Dash. And that gets into Chemeketa. So I'm going to stop there. We've already seen some of those. There's so much more going on in Kaiser, but today we've been able to give you some highlights about what's happening in our community for our businesses, education, our city, and community-wide. Pride, spirit, and volunteerism is more than our motto. It's our way of life. And it's an absolute pleasure to be on the program today with leaders who exemplify that. With Diane Watson from the Chemeketa Community College Board of Education, Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District and Kaiser Community Library, and Jose Dominguez, pastor of La Luz de Valle Church. Thank you for joining us on this month's Coffee with Cathy for November. Have a very happy Thanksgiving and a happy holiday season.